Hello, all my model car building buddies. This here is Model Cars with Glenn, and I'm Glenn surrounded by models. All right. My buddy Jason over at Blue Ox Model Shop, he has got, he, he posted a question. Why do you buy the models that you buy? And what do you plan on, what makes you decide what to build next? That's some good question right there. And I'm going to try to answer that with a short video here. This is some of my favoriteest models, and I'm going to tell you why I got each one. You can see all the way down to there. There's my little Abarth. I love him. Start down here. Well, when I buy a model, I'm looking when I'm in the store looking, or if I'm over at my buddy's Spotlight Hobbies and flowing through their catalog, I buy the models. When I look at a model, I think, now, what can I do with this? What can I make out of it? I've always been that way, even since I was a little kid. I would look at the side of the box where it shows all the different parts you get with it, all the accessories, and I think, well, if I take all these, what can I make out of this? I've never been one to just build the model from the box, I have to use my imagination and come up with the best possible version of that car that I can think of. And I like extreme cars. I like the ones that are pumped full of adrenaline, and steroids and stuff that are made to just badass. And yeah, I've always thought that was my prerequisite right there, is what can I do with this model to make it super cool? And well, Jaguar right here. When I got that, I knew what I wanted to do with that. I want to Pro Street it. I want a big old blower sticking up through the hood, or maybe velocity stacks or dual quads. It depends. I think of that when I get her going. And up through the hood. And nobody expects a Jaguar like this to be Pro Streeted. Also, I want to cut these humps up on here and get some big, giant, either street tires or slicks. Either one. I'll probably have to remake these humps. Where's my finger? Okay, I have to remake these humps bigger, up like that, which would be cool. Can you imagine this car with its haunches big, like got big muscular thighs in the back there? And then it would be cool, and that's what I want to do with that. I use the motor and the front and rear suspension out of it in that Jagster I built a while back. But that's what I'm going to do with this, is I want to make a Pro Street, a super Pro Street. I want this thing so full of steroids that you barely recognize it being a Jaguar. Excuse me, I had to have a drink of coffee. Got the coffee right there. And this one above it, I just love these old-timey cars. Old-timey rails. Get it up a little bit. I mean, look at that T-bucket, but the wheels are cut into the body right in the middle of it. That's outrageous, And it's a short rail, too. I like the shorter ones. Long ones are cool. Don't get me wrong. I like a good long rail, too. But the little short ones, it just looks like a monster. Oh, flashlight help? Yeah, a little bit. It just looks like a monster, with that little turtle deck hanging down on the back and the chute on the back of the roll bar and that neato motor sticking up in the front. That's cool. And the one under it, too. That's a double kit, by the way. You get two for the price of one. I love that Streamliner body, too. That one, I probably changed the back half of it. I probably hang like a 32 or something short. I really could like to take a Vicky and shorten it up and cut the wheel wells out of the doors, Make it one of those kind. Yeah, that'd be cool. And next over here, this 51 Henry J. That one reminds me of my youth. When I was about 16, 17 years old, I think probably 16, Dad decided he's going to take us to Mississippi to visit his parents. We was living up north. And when we got home, we found out that somebody decided that they wanted all the stuff in our house. Yep, got robbed. And I went in. The first thing I went in to do was to check on my models, and I had just bought one of these. I went through it and looked at all the parts in the kit, and Dad said, "Let's go." So I put it back in the box and set it up on the shelf. They even took the shelf, They took my models, and I never got to build it. So when I saw this at Spotlight, I said, "Hey, that's mine. I got to have that because now I can finally, after that was in the 60s. Let's see, I was, anyway, it was like in the late 60s when that came out. And so I had to have it. As a matter of fact, I got two. And like I said, what am I going to do with it? The first one, I'm going to build this car. But I'm going to use a different front and rear suspension because the one that comes with the kit is spindly and fiddly and it's just weak, Plus the motor ain't all that cool either, But I'm going to build it. It'll be like this, but it'll be a lot more pumped up, And the same with the 51 Anglia. Oh, I forgot where I was at. The other one's going to be a Pro Street. Tuck the tires up under the fenders up there and have it down on the ground with some front wheels up in here, but still with the big monster motor. And the same with the Anglia. Cool Anglia right there. One will be built like this. And, I was thinking, what do I do with it, And one will be like this. It'll be but I'll change out I'll probably use parts from that 41 Rebel Willys. They're the best parts you can get for something like this. And the second one, I've already built one. It was destroyed in the fire. Excuse me, I'm burping my coffee now. I cut the wheel wells off, the fenders off, and moved them out. Put a filler piece about this wide in between there, and I had it drop down Pro Street with those big fat tires from the Revel 67 Chevelle Pro Street. Those things are huge. I had those, and I had the front wheels tucked up, changed out the headlights for some that didn't suck like these do, and a big motor sticking up through it, and the interior was all custom, but it burned up in the fire, and I want it back. So now I have to have two of these. I got two of them. I got two of these too. Okay? And that's what this is going to be. One's Pro Street. One's going to be like this, but with better parts. I ain't never been the biggest fan of a GT40, but I got to thinking, I was looking through the catalog and I saw it and I thought, what can I do with that? That's my first question is, what can I do with it? And what can I do with this? Well, for one thing, big Hemi motor, blower sticking up through the roof up here back with the scoop looking over the roof. That'd be cool. Different wheels. I don't like rims that come all the way out to the edge of the tire because it reminds me of that crank thing that you shove a potato through and it makes French fries or potato chips or something. I just don't care for those. That's just me. Nothing wrong with these. These are fine. Everybody likes these, and I can see why. It's just not my thing. And the back tires, yep, big old humps on the back fenders, just like the Jaguar, and real deep rims and some big old street tires, and it'll be a Pro Street with the motor in the back. So, when I thought, what can I do with it? That's what I'm going to do with it. Little coffin. I love the little coffin. I had two of them before that died in the fire. One was built stock like this. It was just a nice, clean build. And I built it straight from the box, which I rarely do, but I did. And the other one, I think I told you before, I'm going to make a pickup truck out of it, cut the back. And I told you all about that on a previous episode of Model Cars with Glenn. Next, double dragster kit. Oh, my God. Back when it came out in the 60s, it was like $1, maybe $2. I don't remember real good back then, but it was under $2. That's for sure. And I had so many of them. I bought another one every week with my allowance, and I did so much with it. I had 5 or 6 of them that no two were alike. Okay, and my little brother Jim thought it would be so cool. Those ruts in the driveway where my dad pulled his car in and out, they were kind of deep because it was raining. And he thought it'd be so cool if he lined them up in those ruts and then put a little layer of dirt on top of the rut and buried them. So when Dad came in, it'd be like a Bigfoot. It would just, he didn't know about Bigfoot, so I'm just using that as a reference. But it would be like that. And he rolled over them and smashed them down in the ground. Boy, Jimmy thought that was so cool. He also thought it wasn't very cool when I chased him around the yard whooping on his butt. But, you know, little brat. And so, you know, I still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I still got 6 of these kits. I had a dozen. I'm sorry. I built a few of them already. Boot Hill Express, what can you do with that? You know, just build it. It's super cool to start with. You know, I had one. I ain't going to paint it gold. I paint it wood. You know, airbrush the wood grain in and around the edges. I had one before and it was absolutely beautiful because of that. I painted it like it was on shellacked wood. Oh, it was so pretty. And I got to recreate that. And I thought, well, you know, what else can you do with it? What else can I do with it? I want to take the what do you call it? The dadgum back end in it anyway, the back of it off, and make it in like a stagecoach. I could build a stagecoach to go behind the seat, replace the funeral car, or a Brinks car, like Brinks armored car, something like that. But I want to get another one and replace the back end of it with some sort of different, you know. And I just thought of that when I was thinking of what I wanted to do in this video, you know. What else can you do with a Boot Hill Express? Well, you make a stagecoach out of it, you know. Anyway, this one is getting built and wood grained, but the next one I can find is going to be like a stagecoach or something. And then that brings us down to my little buddy, Fiat Abarth. If you go to YouTube channel and look through there, you'll find Southeast Gassers, and they, oh boy, wait a minute, I got it wrote down here so I can tell you about it. Hang on just a second. Nostalgia Drags, Hot Rods, Dragsters, Gassers, Glory Days event at Byron. If you can remember all that, go to YouTube and search it out, and you see the coolest cars. They got some itty bitty cars like a Nash Metropolitan, and there's so much engine up here that there's no room for the front end, and they got like a rail front end coming out with the little rail wheels. Oh man, does that look cool. There's like 3 of them. There's even a 57 Thunderbird with the front fenders and hood removed and a front end coming out with a big motor on there. Y'all got to see that. That is cool. If you get a chance, it's called Nostalgia Drags, Hot Rods, Dragsters, Gassers, Glory Days event at Byron. I'm serious, man. Y'all love that. That's what this is gonna be. I like to take a itty bitty car like this, stuff as much motor as I can up into the hood, under the hood, with the headers hanging out the wheel wells, and then shove the wheels out front just far enough to be cool, and some big old monster slicks on the back of it, fill it full of roll cage and everything. I cannot wait to start on it. This body is only like this big, you know. It's 1/25th scale, but it's so little, you know. That's one of my favorite things to do, is take an itty bitty car and shove it full of as much power as possible, and it's so much that you have to push the front wheels. Anyway, that is how I decide what to buy and why I buy it. You know, why I buy it is because I think it's a cool little car. And what was the other part? Anyway, the other part is, what can I do with it? You know, what can I do once I get it home? I'm going to build it into something. And if I see a model that's kind of cool, but there's nothing I can do with it, you know, like most Tom Daniels kits. What can you do with a Tom Daniels kit? Not much. I got the Rommel's rod and I made a wrecker out of it. That's cool. But like the pie wagon and the ice truck and stuff like that, ain't much you could do with something like that, you know? So I usually pass on those. I didn't when I was young. I built them all when I was younger. But yeah, there you go. That's why I buy it and what I'm going to do. What I'm going to build next is harder. I have to look at these and think, which one do I want the most? This guy, he's going to be my next one. I love him. I got to build him. Anyway, that made a short story long. And I love you guys, all my old and new subscribers. If y'all give me a like and a subscribe and a comment, love them comments. And I will thank you all for watching, and I will see y'all later. Bye.